The mysterious and frightening horsemen are described in Revelation. When the time comes for God's judgment, the 7 seals will be opened. They will be opened by the Lamb who laid down his life for the banner of mankind. The first seals to be opened will release the 4 horsemen who are the heralds of the end of the world. All of them will bring to mankind great bloody wars, many deaths, planetary famine, terrible disasters. But there is no general opinion about what exactly each of such messengers represents. In general, riders are distinguished more by the colors of the horses on which they sit. Rider on a white horse. Generally, on a white horse in the same revelation Jesus was described. That is why there was a hypothesis that the described rider is him. In one hand he has a wreath, and in the other a bow. This image seems to symbolize the successful spreading of God's word. However, the Gospel of Mark says that the popularity of the gospel is the message of the imminent end of the world. Moreover, many opponents of the version that the first horseman is Christ point to his role as the Lamb. And if he is the Lamb, how can he also be the messenger? There is another version. According to it, the rider on the white horse was sent by Christ to enlighten people. He is the Holy Spirit. Attempts to betray this rider features positive, completely incompatible with the mission of the white rider. After all, if he is the messenger of the apocalypse, what does he carry? And he carries, according to researchers, strife and war. The fire rider, he comes to conquer and destroy. In his hand is a sword. Here he is, cruel and bloodthirsty, destroying everything in his path. There's a belief that this horseman tests people. He tests their faith so that at the judgment of God he can point out their greater transgressions. He is the arbiter of judgments, who will accuse every sinner. And based on this description, the image of the angel accuser immediately comes to mind, which, by the way, is associated with fire. Why? Let's remember the story of the fall of a rebel angel, who opposed the will of God, rebelled, collapsed to the ground, and who in the form of the serpent tempted the unfortunate Eve. In Arabian mythology, a similar story is connected with the angel of fire named Iblis. Do not forget that Lucifer, which is mistakenly identified with Satan, in Christian mythology is a seraphim, and these are angels of fire. After all, we are considering Christian mythology. Seraphim are fiery serpents. They are therefore depicted as red or orange. They symbolize the element of fire. And so, we see this rider appearing on a red or fiery horse. The rider on the raven horse, he's thought to represent hunger. In his hands he carries a scale, which should divide the food, in a period when it will be catastrophically lacking. There will be plenty of wealth, but the most important things will be lacking. Can such a shortage be taken literally as a lack of food? Or could it be about the spiritual scarcity of mankind? The black horse of this messenger symbolizes death and great sorrow. The rider is on a pale horse. He carries nothing in his hands, but he is in possession of a portion of the earth. And beyond his shoulders, you can see the infernal realms. This rider brings death. He is the herald of famine, bloodshed, disaster. Theologian called this rider pestilence or pestilence and even death itself. Of course, there are many interpretations of what is written in Revelation. But one thing is clear, these messengers do not bring anything good. And it does not matter what each of them symbolizes separately. After all, the essence of their arrival is to bring suffering, disaster, and destruction.